Welcome to the deep dive. Today, our mission is to decode a really dense 102-page U.S. government document.
Yeah, and it is a fascinating one,
It
honestly.
really is. Specifically, we're looking at a draft request for proposals, an RFP for this military initiative called the Trusted Partner Program, or TPP.
Right.
And the official document number, just for those keeping track at home, is W911NF26R009. But to actually understand why this document is so groundbreaking, I want you to imagine, just for a moment, that you are a scientist.
Right, but not, the cinematic mad scientist kind.
Exactly. Like a modern working researcher at a major university. You've likely spent your entire career dealing with two constants, right?
Yeah.
The slow pursuit of knowledge and the agonizingly sluggish bureaucracy required to fund
Oh,
it.
absolutely. I mean, you spend months writing a grant, and then you just wait a year to see if it even gets funded.
Yeah. You run an experiment, submit a paper, and wait, what, 6 to 8 months for peer review?
At least. You fill out a procurement form just to buy some glass beakers, and you wait 3 weeks for the university purchasing department to approve it. The pace is, by design, incredibly deliberate.
Right. And typically when we think of the U.S. government, and especially the military, we tend to imagine that exact same kind of slow, grinding red tape, just, with way more acronyms.
It is absolutely the stereotype we all carry. We picture mountains of paperwork, endless oversight committees.
The kind of process where by the time a new tech is deployed, it's basically obsolete.
Exactly. We expect friction and delays.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the stated goal of this incredibly dense packet of paper is to create a quick reaction vehicle for rapid military research.
Yeah, completely flips the script.
It really does. Reading through the clauses, it feels less like standard government paperwork and more like the military just hitting the panic button. Like they're trying to build a direct high-speed pipeline right into the smartest academic labs.
That is exactly the goal. And to give you some foundational context on the source we are looking at, this entire initiative is built around a standard Form 33.
Right, the SF-33.
Yep. And this specific draft was issued by the Army's APG Durham RTP division, RTP standing for Research Triangle Park in North Carolina, which is obviously a massive hub for innovation.
Huge hub, yeah.
Now, an SF-33 is the official paperwork used to solicit and award contracts. But you really have to look past the dry, bureaucratic formatting here. The little boxes, the boilerplate legal text.
Because it's not just administrative busy work.
No, it's not. This document is a blueprint. It's a highly aggressive strategy for how the military intends to bypass its own legendary slowness to acquire cutting-edge science.
And before we get into how they plan to acquire it, we have to look at who they're actually targeting. Because, when I think of military technology, my mind instantly goes to massive defense contractors.
Oh, sure. Lockheed, Raytheon.
Right? The sprawling aerospace corporations with tens of thousands of employees.
Mm-hmm.
But the Trusted Partner Program is explicitly not for them.
No. It is decidedly not. The RFP has very specific, stringent eligibility requirements. It is exclusively for, and I'll quote the document here, institutes of higher education and nonprofit research institutions.
Wow. So no private corporation.
Exactly. They are legally restricting the applicant pool under 2 specific statutes. They cite 20 U.S.C. 1001, which defines higher ed institutions, and 15 U.S.C. 638 for nonprofit research institutions.
And they narrow it down even further with NAICS codes, right?
They do. They specify that the primary focus is NAICS code 541714, covering biotech R&D. Though, interestingly, they explicitly exclude nanobiotechnology from this bucket.
Wait, really? No nano?
Right, no nano for this one. They also include NAICS code 541715, which covers physical, engineering, and life sciences. And to cement this exclusivity, the size limit is strictly capped at 1,000 employees.
Let's pause and clarify that for you listening. Because if you aren't deep in the weeds of government contracting, you might be wondering what an NAICS code even is.
Right, it's a bit opaque.
It's essentially the government's standardized system for classifying businesses, like a sorting hat to figure out what industry you belong to. So by defining those exact codes and capping the headcount at 1,000, this program is like a highly exclusive VIP club.
It's a great way to put it.
Yeah. Normal procurement is a massive public auction. This is a closed-door incubator. You have to prove your nonprofit status and agility before you even see the menu. But, I want to push back a little on the logic here.
Oh, so?
It just seems counterintuitive to lock out the massive defense conglomerates who already know how the Pentagon works. My guess is the military realizes an 80,000 employee corporation is just as bloated as the government itself. So they want to skip the middleman. But is there more to it?
What's fascinating here is the underlying admission found in the program's vision statement.
Okay, what do they say?
The military explicitly states they need external academic partners for RDT&E. That's research, development, technology, and evaluation, specifically to support the joint warfighter.
So they are openly admitting they need outside help.
Yes, because academia is almost always where the most agile, bleeding-edge discoveries actually happen. Long before a synthetic biology application reaches a corporate lab, it is born at a university workbench.
Right. If the military waits for it to get published, then licensed by a defense contractor, then pitched back to the Pentagon, they've lost years.
Exactly. They want to be in the room the moment the discovery is made.
So they go straight to the source.
Yeah.
But man, doing that introduces a massive culture clash. We've established they want universities doing this rapid biotech research, but then the RFP outlines how sensitive this research will be.
And it escalates fast.
Yeah. Here's where it gets really interesting, because the security tiers fundamentally contradict how universities normally operate.
They absolutely do. The document outlines a rigid spectrum of security handling. It starts at CUI plus RE, which is controlled unclassified information. Sensitive, but manageable.
Right, keep your laptop locked.
Exactly, but then it immediately escalates to secret, or SEC, then top secret, TS. And then it crosses into the absolute highest realms of intelligence handling, SCI, secure compartmented information.
And finally, SAP, the Special Access Program. Let's break those down, because the friction here is wild. A university is entirely built on open, shared knowledge. Publish or perish.
Right, sharing data is the whole point.
You do an experiment, you publish it so others can replicate it. A university can handle a locked filing cabinet for CUI plus T. But how on earth does an open campus handle a SAP?
It requires a complete infrastructural overhaul. SCI and SAP are the highest tiers of U.S. intelligence. We are talking about building dedicated, physically isolated facilities called SCIFs.
Sensitive compartmented information facilities.
Right. Windowless rooms, armed guards checking badges, air-gapped computers that never touch the internet. And the scientists need background checks that can take well over a year.
And with the SAP, we are dealing with black budgets. Like, the mere existence of the project might be classified. Which means a brilliant researcher can't publish their findings. They can't present at a conference. They might not even be able to tell the dean of her own college what they are doing in that windowless room.
It is a profound contradiction. But the fact that the military issued this RFP to universities proves they believe academia can, and structurally must, adapt.
They are asking for black ops bunkers next to the student union.
Basically, yes. The military desperately needs the unconstrained brilliance of academia, but they simultaneously demand the airtight secrecy of the intelligence community.
Which brings us directly to the logistics. Because if you want a top-secret vault on campus for a quick reaction crisis, you cannot get bogged down in years of financial negotiations.
The funding has to be as fast as the science.
Right. So let's look at the financial mechanics in the source. The RFP dictates an indefinite delivery indefinite quantity contract, an IDIQ, and they are using product service code AJ12.
Which is key.
Yeah, evaluation is based on best value, meaning price and technical merits. But the crucial detail is that they intend to award these contracts without discussions.
Right out of the gate.
Exactly. Offers must bring their absolute best terms immediately. So what does this all mean?
Well, let's define the terms. Product Service Code AJ12 categorizes R&D in physical sciences and engineering. The IDIQ is the contractual vehicle.
The actual legal structure.
Right. And awarding without discussions is arguably the most aggressive part of this blueprint. Normally, government procurement is a tedious 18-month dance of haggling over margins and overhead.
And no discussions cuts all of that out completely.
Precisely. The military is saying, we will look at your very first proposal. If your price or technical plan isn't absolutely perfect, we aren't going to help you fix it. We will just throw it in the trash and hire someone else.
Man, I like to think of this IDIQ setup like a pre-approved corporate credit card or a blank check retainer for a law firm.
That's a good analogy.
The military sets up all the legal, financial, and security rules right now before a crisis hits. They approve a few elite universities and say, congrats, you're on the trusted partner menu.
Right.
Then, a year later, when a new synthetic virus emerges, they don't start from scratch. They just pull out that pre-approved card and order what they need instantly.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, You can see why that no discussions clause is so vital. The threat landscape in biotechnology changes in weeks, not years.
You can't be negotiating overhead rates while a crisis unfolds.
Exactly. The government is forcing these slow academic institutions to act with the financial aggression and speed of a Silicon Valley startup.
And because all these rules have to be locked in perfectly on the very first try, the initial setup phase is intensely compressed. Let's look at the real-world dates on the RFP because the timeline is just brutal.
It is remarkably tight. The draft was issued on April 17th, 2026. Sealed offers are due by 4:00 p.m. local time on July 15th, 2026.
Less than 3 months.
Yes. And offers must be held open for 60 calendar days. The contracting officer is Ninika Iwelu, and the document makes it fiercely clear verbal questions will not be entertained.
No calling up Nika to chat about your biology department's NAICS code.
Under no circumstances, only formally written emails to a specific Army mailbox, which prevents insider advantages but drastically adds to the pressure. Every written question and answer is shared publicly with all competitors.
So you have to be careful not to reveal your secret sauce just by asking a question.
Exactly.
But here is the detail that is highly relevant to you listening right now. Today is May 2, 2026. If you look at the fine print, the absolute cutoff for written questions to Nika Iwelu's inbox was 4:00 p.m. Eastern Time on May 1st.
Yesterday.
Yes. So if you were thinking, wow, my lab should apply, I just need to ask a quick question, I am so sorry, but you literally missed the boat yesterday. The window slammed shut.
From this moment on, applicants are flying blind until they submit on July 15th. And this raises an important question. Is less than 3 months actually enough time for a university to structurally respond to this?
It seems impossible. Rallying top scientists, getting the board of trustees to agree, figuring out where to build a SCIF on campus, and pricing out an IDIQ contract without knowing the future tasks.
It is a staggering administrative lift.
So why make it so fast?
Because that tight turnaround perfectly embodies the whole mandate. It is a bureaucratic stress test.
Oh, I see.
If a university cannot navigate its own internal bureaucracy to submit a proposal in under 3 months, they definitely won't be able to deliver agile, quick reaction science during a national security crisis.
Well, the bureaucracy is the test. If you can't survive the paperwork, you can't survive the mission. That is wild.
It really is.
Well, let's zoom out and look at the journey we've just taken. We started with what looked like a completely dry, boring standard Form 33, just boxes and acronyms.
But we uncovered a fast-track pipeline.
Exactly. A program designed to bypass the defense giants and pull nonprofit scientists directly into the most secretive echelons of military research.
Forcing open academic environments to integrate with top-secret intelligence needs, all fueled by a non-negotiable financial mechanism.
And the reason you should care about this is that it reshapes where the future of technology happens. The next massive defense breakthrough, a countermeasure for a bio-threat or a new physical material, it might not be born in a secret bunker in the desert.
No, it might be happening right now.
Yeah, in a restricted, windowless lab sitting right next to the quad at your local university.
Which leaves us with a final thought to ponder. As programs like this blur the line between the military and academia, what happens to the core culture of higher learning?
That's a great question.
Right. If our brightest minds and their most revolutionary discoveries are increasingly locked behind special access programs, completely hidden from public view and immune to peer review, how will that ultimately change the future of public science?
It is the ultimate paradox. The institutions designed to shine a light on the unknown are being asked to work in the darkest shadows. The red tape hasn't disappeared. It's just been painted black. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning the world around you, and we will catch you next time.